Well, good morning, everybody. It is so great to see you here today. I know some of you battled some construction to get to us today, and I really appreciate the effort you made to make it up to the garden. So this morning, we're here to formally cut the ribbon on our new Welcome Plaza, and I am so thrilled I have lots of ribbon-cutting helpers with me today from both the Forest Preserves of Cook County and the state of Illinois. So I want to first importantly recognize our friends and partners from the Forest Preserves. Guys, we couldn't do our work here at Chicago Botanic Garden without you. You have been with us since our founding, and you are our greatest champions. We are just so very proud to be one of the jewels in the crown that is the 70,000 acres of Cook County Forest Preserves. So with us today from the preserves, we have President Toni Preckwinkle. We have Commissioner Scott Britton. We have John Daly. We have Frank Aguilar, Monica Gordon, Anthony Caseta. Do we have Kevin Morrison? Woohoo! Alma, Anaya, and Bill Lowry. Is Bill here today? And from the state of Illinois, we have Senator Julie Morrison. We've got Representative Bob Morgan. And we have Natalie Finnie, our director of the Illinois Department of Natural Resources. Good to see you. And from the village to our east, we have Howard Roan, president of the Village of Glencoe. So some of you know this plaza has been a long time incoming. And you know, with 1.2 million visits a year, we outgrew our front door a while ago. And the planning for the suite of welcome projects, that includes this plaza, a new picnic glade, water main repairs, a maintenance facility, and new electric trams began in earnest in 2020. And like every big project, you know, you have to work through the bouts of good weather and bad. But we also had a bit of a global pandemic that got thrown into the mix and a series of supply chain issues that stretched our timeline out a bit longer than we had anticipated. And when we set out to do this project, we really wanted to create a warmer, safer, vehicle-free welcome for our guests. And we were all about creating a sense of connection and arrival that signaled a wonderful journey into a world of beauty and wonder that draws our attention and really importantly demands our protection. We now have not only a new entrance, but we have a new public square. We included new restroom facilities, we included new guest services facilities, we've got plenty of seating around the plaza in benches, we've got plantings and friendly, knowledgeable staff. Down the path behind you takes you to the new Stone Family Picnic Glade. We're going to explore that together later this morning. But behind the scenes are really important health and safety improvements. It included water main upgrades. These are what prevents our garden from closing, literally closing, or having service disrupted during inevitable disruptions, as we've had in the past. We've all got, we now have new electric trams. They're parked right over there. They are quiet, they are energy efficient, they are a big improvement over their 40-year predecessor, which we fondly called our Jimmy Carter era trams. And we're getting great feedback from the new welcome. We're really thrilled to formally open it with you today. So I want to say that today is one of our 52 annual free days. It's one of 3 free days this month, today, Thursday, and next week on Juneteenth. Now, importantly, every standard summer feature, our tram, our butterflies and blooms, our model railroad are free as well. Last year, which was our first year of general admission, we had 25% of our guests coming as free admission guests. And importantly, on any day when we do charge admission, the ticket includes entry, the trams, the butterflies, and the model railroad. Importantly, the picnic glade, which we'll explore later this morning, is outside the paywall, as is the Sheeta Evaluation Garden, McDonald Woods, and the North Branch Trail. You know, we're here today to talk about this major capital project, but I really want to state that on a daily basis, we couldn't run this garden without the forest preserves of Cook County. And we're really proud that we're able to leverage the investment you make in us annually by a ratio of 5 to 1. When we do these major projects, we have to go out and raise private funds, but the private money is never enough. We close our funding gap with support from public agencies, and that's what we're really here to celebrate today. So your support just makes a huge difference in everything to do. And I know it's not today's topic, but while we're all here, I think it's a good thing to remind you of our gratitude and thanks for supporting Vote Yes last year. It is transformative for the forest preserves, but for us as well. We finally have that steady, stable source of support for annual capital maintenance needs. So thank you so much for doing the work necessary to take it to voters. So let me now begin with our thanks. I want to recognize Governor Pritzker's administration in particular, the Illinois Department of Natural Resources, and the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Development for their generous support for these welcome projects. Their, in all, state support totaled about $1.6 million. So we received a $750,000 museum capital grant from IDNR that went toward that really important and very unglamorous water main work. And I'd be remiss if I didn't take the opportunity, Director Finnie, to thank IDNR for supporting our Plants of Concern rare plant monitoring program across the state. We also received $500,000 from the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Development. And the other state award I want to call out is $400,000 in capital funds sponsored by Senator Morrison. This was the closer. This was the final sum we needed to close the funding gaps on these projects. Thank you so much, Senator Morrison. And it isn't just the resources, the funding resources that it takes to deliver. I also want to thank our colleagues from Cook County, the professional, thorough, and timely support that we received from the Cook County Department of Zoning and Buildings. You helped us navigate all the necessary permit issues for the welcome projects, and you helped us initiate this project amid COVID challenges. So each of you supports our imperative to connect people to plants. That is the only way that people and planet can thrive together. So let's give that a round of applause. So now we have a series of speakers. I'm going to invite first State Representative Bob Morgan up to say a few words. He's going to introduce the next speakers, who are Senator Morrison, Director Finnie, Commissioner Britton, and President Preckwinkle. Once President Preckwinkle finishes, I'll come back up, and we're going to invite people to take a ribbon-cutting photo for us. So, there you go.
Good morning, everybody. Bob, good morning. Let's try that again. Good morning. It's great to be here. I'm Bob Morgan. I'm the state representative that represents the Botanic Gardens, and I'm so grateful to be here. I'm always honored to be at the Botanic Gardens. And as we're here having this celebration, this event, this ribbon cutting, you'll actually see the vibrancy of the Botanic Gardens as you see people walking in to the main entrance that we are opening today, but also just the way in which this is a gateway to the community. I always view this not just as the crown jewel, but it really is the gateway to the northern suburbs, as we have this amazing, amazing asset in our backyard. When I have an opportunity to bring my children here, I do it. They know this area. They know the Botanic Gardens because they know how beautiful it is. They know that they can see all these amazing flowers and butterflies and the trees and the flowers that are throughout this amazing crown jewel of our neighborhood. So I'm glad for those of you who have been here before, but I'm most grateful for those who have never visited before. I know Director Finnie is up here, and DNR has done some amazing things to support the Botanic Gardens. But for those of you who have never been here before, come back again, and continue to bring your family and your friends here, because this is really, truly an amazing entryway into what we can do as a community and the way that the forest preserves and the Botanic Gardens can be just a gathering place regardless of your background, regardless of your geography. So I encourage you to come back. We were so proud to be able to sponsor a number of aspects of this redevelopment through state funds, as Senator Morrison is going to be joining me in just a second, and the funding that we were able to provide for this. Oftentimes when we pass a budget, it seems it's generic. It doesn't have a face. It doesn't feel specific, doesn't feel concrete. And then when we can show up to an event like this and we can do a ribbon cutting and we can see individuals, families, young children. You missed, if you got here a little bit late, we literally had a school of, I think, 3 and 4-year-olds walking across. That is what this community deserves, and that's what this location represents. So thank you for being here. Thank you for all the work of the staff of the Botanic Gardens. And with that, I'm happy to introduce my friend and colleague, State Senator Julie Morrison.
Good morning. Thanks for the nice introduction, Representative Morgan. Why do I like the Chicago Botanic Gardens? Because it's sunrises, it's sunsets, it's a place for exercise and education. It's a place to meditate, to get away. It's also a place to unwind. It's a gathering place for family and friends, but it's a perfect place for just you when you want to come out and be alone. It's a place to grab your camera, your paintbrushes, your bike, your walking shoes. It's an everyday place, but it's also a place with very special events held throughout the year that bring you back and back. It's a place where people with disabilities are welcomed and encouraged and able. It's a place for volunteers, and it's a place to be mentored. It's also the place that helps us reconnect to our natural world. I am so proud to be the state senator for this wonderful facility, this wonderful museum. With us this morning, it's my privilege to introduce the director of the Illinois Department of Natural Resources, Natalie Finnie. Natalie and I overlapped our service in the General Assembly for just a couple years, and though we really never got to work on legislation together, her reputation for integrity and enthusiasm was already well known. She's exactly what we need in the Illinois Department of Natural Resources, and I'm delighted to welcome her to the Botanic Gardens this morning.
My goodness, thank you, Senator Morrison, for that introduction. Good morning to you all. And thank you, Jean, to you and your team for inviting me to be here. It's truly an honor. As director of the Illinois Department of Natural Resources, I find it incredibly thrilling to see a project like this come to realization. In this case, it's a project that will benefit more than 1 million visitors who come here every year to seek to explore, to be inspired, and to better understand the natural world. IDNR has a vested interest in ensuring special places like the Chicago Botanic Garden and local museums are able to continue telling the story of Illinois and its natural history. Nature, after all, is the best classroom. IDNR awarded $750,000 for a portion of this project back in 2020, and that investment clearly was put to extraordinarily good use. The Welcome Plaza, this plaza, the picnic glade, and water system improvements are enhancements that will keep the Chicago Botanic Garden at the top of the people's must-visit list for decades to come. And I will also add that to Representative Bob Morgan's comments, the vibrancy, I was thinking the very same thing as I got here and saw those school children. And as I was sitting here in the first moments of the speaker's comments and seeing a few children gathering and watching what we're doing here today, how precious that is, and what you all have built here. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of it today. Now I would like to invite Forest Preserves Commissioner Scott Britton to the microphone.
Listening to the director, my natural Central Illinois accent starts coming back. But thank you all for being here and for the opportunity for me to speak. When Larry Suffren decided to retire, he said, I'd really like you to consider taking over New Trier Township into your district. And I said, does that mean I get the Botanic Garden? And he's like, yeah, you do. And I said, count me in. Because I've spent a lot of time here with my children and continue to consider it truly the jewel of the Forest Preserve system. And now I am honored to be the chairman of the Botanic Garden Committee on the county board. I know that we have taken a real opportunity to create a very welcoming new introduction to the forest preserves for those who come here to experience it. And I think it's really important that we were able to do this and to make this place an even better opportunity for people to enjoy. You know, the Botanic Gardens truly is the front door to the forest preserve system in the north, and it really is a part of what I think is really great about our forest preserve system and the 70,000 plus acres that we have. I also have been here a lot recently, partly because my daughter, Ellie, teaches at Sunset Ridge School in Northfield, just down the way. And we had 2 different groups of her students come here just in the last couple of weeks. And I probably shouldn't tell you this, but she did tell her students that, you know, my dad owns the Botanic Garden. And I'm like, so when they were here, I said, kids, chairman of the committee and don't really own it. Very disappointed group of 4th graders, I can tell you that. But I also want to say that it has been a true honor to be a Forest Preserve Commissioner, and now I can tell you that I take my position as the chairman of the Botanic Garden Committee very seriously. We're going to have our first meeting since 2019 here in a short period of time, and we're going to try and keep things going with my fellow commissioners. And we'll make sure when we use the word preserves, that's exactly what we're doing. We're going to preserve this for generations to come. Next, it is my great honor to introduce our next speaker. You know, we've been together a lot, Madam President, which is always a good day when I get to see Toni, because I know her leadership has taken us through one of the most difficult times this county has ever experienced, and her leadership has been a true guidepost for those of us who serve in public life, and I can truly tell you that it has been an honor to be with her and to be her partner in so many things we do, including her commitment to the forest preserves and to environmental issues throughout her career. And so please join me in welcoming the boss, Toni Preckwinkle, President of the Cook County Board.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I want to thank you all for joining us today as we celebrate the garden's remarkable journey over the last 50 years. Now, before I start my remarks, I want to correct an inadvertent exclusion. We have with us Commissioner Maggie Trevor and Commissioner Josina Morita, who were not acknowledged earlier, and I just want to be sure that we let folks know that they're here as well. And before I say a few words, speaking of inadvertent exclusions, you know, I may get credit for the good work that's done by the Forest Preserve, but actually it's done by the superintendent. So I'm going to give him an opportunity to say a few words. Come on.
So one lesson, good morning. One lesson I learned whenever I'm with President Preckwinkle, even if I'm not on the agenda, be prepared to speak, because she will always, like being in high school again. I just want to say we have a wonderful relationship with the Chicago Botanic Garden. I've been here 12 and a half years now, and the relationship has only gotten better year after year, starting with Sophia and now with Jean and with the wonderful board of directors. And we have worked really hard to be better partners, and so we share resources. This is a jewel in the crown of the Forest Preserves. I think Commissioner Britton said that. We share the resources of knowledge. They are very helpful to us in a lot of the work that we do on preserving and saving really endangered plants and plants of concern. We do a lot of programming together, and we have a whole lot of plans moving forward. So this is a great day, but every day is a great day at the Botanic Garden. So welcome to the garden, and welcome to the Forest Preserves. We're all connected, and we're all one big family, and we're happy to be part of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now I actually do have a speech here. What started as a beautiful place to visit blossomed into one of our great living museums and conservation, science, and learning centers. It serves as a sanctuary, a refuge where people and plants thrive in harmony. In a time when green spaces are shrinking and our lives are becoming increasingly stressful, the garden's role in connecting people to nature has become even more vital. Each year, nearly 1.2 million people visit 28 exquisite gardens and 4 natural areas spread across 385 acres, including 9 islands. Whether exploring the tranquil beauty of the Elizabeth Hubert Malott Japanese Garden, or diverse North American landscapes, or finding solace in the sensory garden, the garden's landscapes offer a haven. It's also worth noting that the Chicago Botanic Garden boasts an impressive membership of 59,000 people, making it one of the largest memberships of any U.S. botanic garden. Additionally, the garden holds the esteemed distinction of being only one of 17 public gardens accredited by the American Association of Museums. These achievements are a testament to the enduring appeal and importance of this cherished institution. It's a crown jewel among the treasures of the forest preserves of Cook County. I would like to emphasize the garden's significance that extends beyond its breathtaking beauty. The organization is renowned for its invaluable contributions in the fields of science, horticulture, and education. Its programs are dedicated to shaping how people value, perceive, and care for the environment. Through groundbreaking research and innovative initiatives, the garden's Nagani Institute for Plant Conservation, Science, and Action is tackling one of the most critical challenges of our time, conserving plants. Today, as we gather to celebrate the opening of the Welcome Plaza, let's reflect on the profound impact the Chicago Botanic Garden has had on our lives. It's a sanctuary, an oasis of serenity, and a living testament to our commitment to preserving the beauty and diversity of our natural world. I invite each and every one of you to explore the wonders of the Botanic Garden and to be inspired by its beauty. Let's continue to cherish and support this remarkable institution as we work hard to protect and nurture our environment for generations to come. Thank you.
Well, thank you, President Preckwinkle, and all of our speakers. Let us declare the plaza officially open. Hooray! And with that, I want to invite our elected officials up here for some photographs as we stand behind the ribbon. President Preckwinkle, you and I will be the ones to actually cut the ribbon. So if everybody could step up behind the line, and others feel free to get a coffee and a breakfast snack as we do our important ceremonial ribbon cutting this morning.
Okay, can I have the crowd help me? It's hard. You have to do 1, 2, 3. Cut the ribbon. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Cut the ribbon.